Meow.
Oh, hi. That's an odd greeting, but how are you?
Coming up on this episode of PFM After Dark, we celebrate this past year's journey together that began with a simple meow. Welcome to episode 5 of PFM After Dark. I'm Alisha. As always, I'm joined by the co-host of the show, my one and only human, Jason. Now that's a year later, tell the truth. What did you really think when I did that?
I thought you were beautiful, and it really was an interesting greeting. That's the best thing that I can say. Is literally my line is exactly what I was thinking. Well, that was odd.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
I'm an odd person.
But you followed it up with a joke, I believe.
I did. So, for those of you that don't understand what we're talking about, Jason and I met a year ago on March 14th. We're recording this on the 12th. So,
And you'll hear it on the 15th. So
yeah.
essentially, it was yesterday, but for us, it's
But
tomorrow because of the
yeah.
leap year,
Yep.
and 2 days from now because of the calendar.
Yeah. Anyway,
Anyway,
weird calendar.
yeah. Do you want to tell that joke?
Yeah, but we met online.
We did.
And the first thing that I said to you was meow.
Yeah.
Because I was just goofing around and being silly. And then I just proceeded with the joke. I had to see if you passed, like, the cool vibes or whatever.
Did I pass?
So let's see if you remember the joke. Why don't rabbits make any sound when they have sex?
I know the answer to this because your mom's told it a few times since that time.
Yeah, she learned it from me.
It's because they have cotton balls.
Yes, they have cotton balls. It's the best joke ever.
Tell
It
you-
really is.
Tell that one to your friends and family, everybody.
That's why my mom tells everyone. She steals my joke.
Was that your joke? Where did you
wasn't-
learn it from?
That was my joke. I think I learned it sometime in high school.
Oh,
It makes sense, right?
a high school joke. Yeah, I guess that's true. So what was our first conversation like? Do you remember?
Yeah, I was just like, hey, you passed the vibe check. I was asking you to tell me a joke, actually, because I told you one, and
I don't think I had one.
you didn't have any jokes, so we didn't have a joke throwdown, I guess. But yeah, I was just gonna ask where you're at, told you where I am, and then you listened to me for probably an hour talk about my crazy idea of living in a van or a bus and just traveling the world.
Yeah, that was actually part of our first conversation. Yeah.
Yep. You listened to me for probably an hour talk about that. Because I was like, well, here's my crazy idea. This is what my future looks like.
All that did was spark me to realize that that was a great idea, and I guess we're already plugging ourselves. Hey, go to our YouTube channel, PFM Adventures, and you'll find out a year later that this is a real thing. And there's a bus outside.
Yep,
we say that
it's
every week.
out. I can't point.
Yeah, I just was looking to see.
It's this way. That's a window over there for those of you that are watching the video version. The curtains. Why is it so backwards when I'm trying to point?
I know we're gonna have to do like a whole pointing episode. That'd be pretty boring.
I can point at you. I can point at
you.
me. But
And you
if
know
it's
what happens
back
if you-
here, I start getting confused.
And of course, we're trying to do balloons or confetti.
And the confetti won't work.
Confetti's gonna work eventually before the end of the show.
We
But
we couldn't get to work.
anyways, so
What do you remember about our first conversation?
I that's kind of what I remember. I mean, I think we talked for I want to say about 3 hours.
Yeah, it was
That
a
sound
long
about
time.
right?
And it was on a work night.
Yeah, it was.
Mhm.
And of course, that's a good point. It's not even in my notes, but the time zone difference was quite a factor for quite a while.
Yeah.
Because for me, every time we talked late, it was an hour later.
Yeah, true.
Damn time zones. But now I don't have to worry about that because I'm here.
Yep.
right
You're in the Central Standard Time Zone for
And
a minute.
for a minute. But it's also now daylight savings time, so let's give a nod to daylight savings time, which we are super
Daylight
excited
savings
about.
time. We have
I'm a
more
fan.
time after work to do more work, which is great. You need daylight outside.
So what happened at the end of our first conversation?
So the website that we're on, like you don't get any kind of like tag or anything like that to find the person again. So I did the unthinkable and I was like, hey, I don't normally do this, in which I didn't. But I was like, hey, do you have Snapchat?
And I said,
So
no,
he said no.
I
I was
don't.
like, well, can you download it? Please, please, and thank you. Because we had such a nice conversation. It was just, it's always good to find somebody that you can have a conversation with. I struggle with that sometimes because I don't know, maybe I'm just all over the place. Sometimes I like to have goofy conversations, but other times I have more serious conversations. But anyway, Jason downloaded Snapchat,
Illegally.
so we didn't lose touch with each other
Wasn't illegally.
illegally.
Yeah. Well, there's a backstory.
It's free.
No, not about that. There's a backstory to our lives, which some of our listeners know and some may not, but
Yeah.
it'll probably show up as the episode goes on.
Yeah.
But so then there's that. I mean, that's essentially like, can I have your phone number, right?
I mean,
If
kind
you're meeting in
of.
person, and then the next thing is, okay, do we send a message to the next? It's that same awkwardness,
Yeah.
right? Do you agree?
Yeah. It was
Like I'm
awkward.
actually feeling it right now, telling you the story, and I'm sitting right next to you, and we're like,
Did you message me first or did I message you? I really don't remember.
I don't know the answer to that. I would say that I probably messaged you because I wouldn't message you, meaning that I would be scared to take that step. So because I was scared to take that step, I took the step. Like as I get older, the steps I'm most scared to take are the ones I'm guaranteed to take.
You just dive right in.
Exactly. But years gone by, as a youngin, I would have been like, so I don't know what that is.
Well, I get it though, because if you're terrified, if you just jump really quickly, then it's over with, and whatever happens, happens. It's done. You don't have to be afraid anymore.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's
No,
essentially what it is,
absolutely.
right?
No, I completely agree. That's like a
Yeah.
life lesson.
Yeah.
So, then the next thing that I wrote up here, we're looking at our notes. I mean, you can't do this without having some sort of notes. You could do it, but you lose track. Anyways, can this really work? I mean, like I guess I'm fast forwarding a little bit, but over the
Yeah.
course of time, like okay. I guess I'm taking this and talking about this from a relationship standpoint now, looking back. But okay, I guess what I want to say is there was an immediate connection,
Yeah.
like
For sure.
in all of the ways.
Mm-hmm.
So at least for me.
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
For me.
And
That's why I asked for your Snapchat. I don't
fair.
do that. I just meow and tell jokes typically when I'm found anywhere.
But I guess in my head, I'm like, can this go anywhere? Like, it was
Mhm.
great to meet you as a friend, and you were cool, and it was fun, and then you actually continued the conversation, which was, exciting. But I mean, I secretly liked you,
Yeah.
so I wanted to learn you more, and so and I guess that's the thing. Like, the reality of it is, I guess why I said, can this work? Is, I mean, like, we were 755 miles apart
Yeah.
the day we met, and we remained 755 miles apart until 5 months ago or 4 months ago.
Yeah.
So for what would that be? I'm trying to do math real quick. I'm sorry, but
I can't math.
there's
It was
12
a long
there's
time.
12 months. So for 75% of the time that we've known each other, we were 755 miles apart.
Yeah.
Kudos to us for
Literally.
like, surviving that, right?
We did, but it's hard to find someone that you connect with, I think. So when you do find someone you connect with, you don't want to lose that. So you just kind of, I think you do whatever you have to do at the time to move forward.
I agree. Let's talk about what we had to do to move forward.
I had to
This-
mow a lot of grass by myself because you weren't here. So now that you're here and summertime's coming,
You still mow the grass? 'Cause you
well,
like to.
okay, I did the other day, but just a little bit. But I do like to. But you can mow. I can mow like a little bit and you can mow a little bit. And then I can mow a little bit and you mow a little bit.
That
Or
sounds
something
fun.
like that.
What if I grab
Or
mom's
we,
lawnmower and we
yeah, get
we go
mom's mower. We can
past each
have
other?
races.
We could we could side by side, or we could pass and high five.
I,
You know,
excuse me. I want to race.
that'd be fun. Can we bump? Can we like?
I'm choking.
No choking. There's no choking in
please.
podcasting. I can edit the audio part, but I can't edit the video. So the question is, will I edit that out? Because I won't
It's
edit out the
fine.
video.
I don't even know what I'm choking on.
It's probably your
Spit.
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa. Jason's going to be on Momoa. Does that count?
We riding shotgun in the Momoa. Anyway,
I still think we should race.
we should race. You
Mhm.
good? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm secretly dying. It's like my so my allergies been bothering me. So it's like I have something in my throat, but there's not really anything in my throat. But it's it's very tickly. And it, did that just thumbs up me when I'm
It did.
pointing at my throat?
Right over my face.
Anyway,
too.
sorry about that. As I'm just secretly dying over here.
Showing my tan
Everything's
line.
fine.
Anyway, so the next thing on our list is actually our first meeting. We were talking about like how to keep going, and
Mhm.
we're really fast forwarding this year during the show here, so nobody falls asleep. But so the first meeting, how did we decide that we were going to do that? Somewhere between
Mhm.
the moment that we meowed and then this first meeting back in July was
Yeah.
a lot of fun and
Yeah,
an
I think
adventure.
we decided like I mean it was kind of quick like in June.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I can come up there because I was thinking about coming up there, but it just wasn't working out very well with things going on. So you came here in July,
Yeah.
the 4th of July week.
And I guess there's a little bit of a bridge that we need to mend here so that people understand the timing of this whole thing. We actually started dating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we really like started dating as a couple before we ever met.
Yeah.
Are we weird?
No.
Oh, okay.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. So anyways, let's talk about this first meeting because I remember calling you at like 2 a.m, the night
Yeah.
of the flight, and going, "Oh my God, my flight just got canceled."
Mm-hmm.
That's literally what happened. So I'm up at 2, 3 in the morning or whatever, and my flight's supposed to leave at 6, and I'm on the phone with the airlines. I don't remember which one it was, and even if I did, I'm not going to say it. And going, no, you fix it. And the lady was actually nice, and and I'm not usually pushy, but in this case, I was like, no, you need to fix this.
You got to fix this,
now.
please, and thank you.
So they rearranged my flights, and then I got stuck in Charlotte for. Why did I get stuck in Charlotte? Oh, I got stuck in Charlotte because I didn't listen to the advice you had given me about baggage.
Yeah. So
I didn't know.
my advice is it's much easier if you travel with carry-on only, not checked luggage.
Right.
So I always just roll my clothes up in a teeny little bag, not a bag, a little suitcase, like a kid-sized suitcase.
Yeah.
And take that. So you can take that and a backpack and you're good. That's
Carry
all
on.
you need. Carry on.
Carry on.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't. And then I had this great idea that we'd start a podcast. You have to pay for that one now. It's in Patreon. So I brought all of the equipment that you need to do podcasting and had an extra bag, and that's why I had carry-on. So long story short, I got to Charlotte. They're like, what do they call those things? Standby flights or whatever?
Yeah, the standby flights.
And I couldn't get one because something. So then now I'm on the phone with you, and now it's another 2 hours, and I mean, this is like the moment, and I can't get to you.
Yeah.
Like it's been all these months, and now I can't get to you for an extra couple of hours. So that was frustrating, but.
Yeah,
And
I remember part of our discussion as well. You're like, well, I have all this stuff. Maybe I should just leave it.
Oh yeah,
And I was like, just get the important stuff and put it on your carry-on and leave your suitcase with the other stuff. It was crazy.
I was literally
You're like
considering that.
this close, like super duper close to just leaving your clothes
Yep, yep.
and taking the podcasting equipment. Priorities.
Priorities.
You don't need clothes, but you
you
need
do
your
need-
podcasting equipment.
Well, because it's more expensive.
it
But
is.
anyways, and you could always wear a microphone. I don't know how or where you would wear that, but anyways. So I made it. Got to Birmingham. Flew into the Birmingham airport. You came and picked me up with Mom, who drove. And do you wanna do the honors of how did this go?
How did it go?
How did it go? What was the
Which part? Like
Well,
when I
you
saw
know,
you? When I
yeah,
okay.
you were hiding on me.
I did. So we pulled up next, like when you pull in the airport, you can have like the little drop off and pickup area and you can kind of pull through. So I had Mom come because I was actually trying to be cheap and I didn't want to pay for parking. So
That's what it
if
was.
Mom came and occupied the vehicle, I could go in there and get you. But anyway, you had texted me and said that you landed, and I figured out where you were coming because it's a small airport. It's not ginormous. So I figured out where you were coming in at, and I knew you had to get your bag out of the checked luggage thingy. So I just kind of hung out outside and watched, and I saw you. You didn't see me because I was outside through the windows. I feel like a creeper, like stalking in the windows. But I guess I am. I'm like peeking in the windows, but they're giant. Anybody can look in the windows. Anyway, I saw you, and I was like, oh, there he is. And I don't normally take off running, but I ran. I just left Mom. I don't even know what I said. I think I was like, oh, there he is. Bye. And she was just like, okay. And I'm just already halfway there at this point. So I sneak in and then I start walking down the hallway and you're texting me and I see you on your phone and you're like, where are you? And I'm not responding because I wanted to surprise you. And then you looked up when I was about 3/4 of the way there and realized that, oh, there you are. But you thought you lost me.
I did, and I wouldn't have known that you were the jokester and we're gonna
Yeah.
pull that prank on me. I really was like embarrassed at that point because I'm like looking all over the place and I'm like, I've seen you enough times. You can't look that different in person,
Right.
than through like what
I mean,
which how you see us. This is how we look,
I could have been using some heavy filters,
right?
looking like, I don't know, Angelina Jolie.
But that was a great magical moment.
It
Let's
was.
post that photo back up again for everyone to see.
We
It was a
should.
great photo.
I'll never forget how much I was shaking. I tried to give you a hug and
Yeah.
I was just trembling.
Yep.
But I was trembling because I was very excited, but I was also terrified at the same time. So I was just uncontrollably shaking.
That was
And
that was
then,
crazy.
yeah, we sat in the back of the car like two teenagers when Mom drove us home as I was trying to give her directions. And I'll tell her to turn right and she would turn left. And I was like, no, the other way. But it's fine. We made it home safely.
We did make it home safely. Now I actually haven't been down those Birmingham roads more than a few times.
Yeah.
I remember the turns and the curves and remember how crazy that was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy intersection right there. Like when you're leaving Birmingham and coming up
North.
to us, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's a
who
little
built that, but
But anyway, you probably hear that. Hopefully
Mhm.
no one else hears that. There's a little buzzing, technical difficulties. Anyway, yeah, we sat in the back like a bunch of teenagers. Basically, I was doing this.
yeah. And I said, "Can I hold your hand? I want to see what your hand feels like." I literally said, "I want to see what your hand feels like." Who says that?
I
Me.
didn't. I was probably thinking the same thing. We should hold hands. Look at that. Anyway,
This is what they feel like. I'm familiar with them now. They're nice.
still feels great.
It does.
Feels better than it did that day.
It does.
Probably because our hands aren't sweating and we aren't shaking uncontrollably.
Right.
So then we spent a week together, which
Mhm.
was cool. Like just everything about the way we did things was kind of weird. Like
Yeah.
if you really think conventionally, I guess. But I don't know. Here we are. So it's not like, and we're not like we're happy.
Absolutely.
So
Never been more happy.
yeah.
Never have been more.
But you took me on a back roads tour in
Yeah.
a pouring rain. in Alabama, which I know it rains. Here's when it rains in Alabama on the weekends when we're trying to do anything on the bus, which is every single weekend.
Yeah, not
Um,
fun.
anytime we are doing anything that involves trying to be outside, trying to drive to Florida to get the bus, I guess I'm going out of order. It just rains here at the worst possible times.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's better than tornadoes. I do not want to ever see one of those. But
It's almost tornado season.
I know. Yeah, great. Uh, but
It's fine.
so you took me on back roads tour that
Mhm.
you used to like ride the roads and do the roads and all that stuff, right?
Yeah. I just took you out in the middle of nowhere. So we took the big long road that goes away from what we call town, because town's like the city. So most people are like, hey, I'm going to town.
Coleman.
So yeah. But I went the opposite way and went to the sticks. And it was all these just long roads, windy. And then, you got to see all the older houses with all the older cars and all the farmland and a lot of cows and goats. And Jason was like, where the hell are you taking me? Like, you're probably scared. But we went down to the lake and saw a big bridge, which was really cool. It's like 30 minutes out in the sticks.
Yep.
But that was fun. And then we went to the covered bridge, which we couldn't get out because the monsoon really came down at that moment.
So bad.
But you got to see it. We haven't been back since then,
No.
have we?
No. We drove past there one time because Butterbean's place. What was that? Is that his house or was that his business?
I think it was his business. So Butterbean the wrestler used to live here, and it was a restaurant there. They sold the Rabbit Hutch, and it was called the Rabbit Hutch because that was their meat, like their food. It was rabbit. True story. The building's still there. It's all dilapidated and falling down, but you can still see like the Rabbit Hutch on there. But it was indeed a restaurant that fed people rabbits.
Yeah, and Butterbean owned.
And Butterbean
cool.
owned it. Mm-hmm.
So now the end of the week has come, right? And I had to go. We couldn't live the fantasy land fairy tale world. So then it's like a whole nother it was everything to be here. It was felt completely natural, felt like I had known you for 20 years. But it had to come to an end, and there was so much more discovery to do, and so I don't know. I do know. I'm saying this like I'm pretending. I do know how hard it was for you because it was
terrible.
Terrible.
That's not even a strong enough word.
Like the Birmingham airport was the greatest place on earth and the worst place on earth in 1 week.
Yeah, it was awful.
Like I can't. It's almost hard to even tell the story because getting back onto that plane, and you had the advantage of going to a car and being able to cry. I was right in the middle of public, and I could if anybody ever watches the movies and there's that scene where somebody's and they gloriously turn around and come running back and there's music and everything in the background. Well, that doesn't happen in real life because you have a job.
Yeah. Had to work.
And family and responsibilities and all this other shit that's going on in your life. But I really was at that moment where I literally I'm turning around. I was so close.
We did get an extra day though, because again, your flight got canceled.
Yes.
So we got an extra day. So we had to cry 2 days because we cried the day before you left because we knew you had to leave in the morning.
Yeah.
And then you didn't leave in the morning. So we just cried again that day because we knew you were going to leave the next day.
We basically wasted an entire day crying.
Yeah. And then, when I dropped you off to get on your flight, I pulled over at a gas station and at least 45 minutes just sat there and cried. And then I missed a turn on the way home because I was just so upset. I was like, oh, that was my turn. So I went kind of the long way home accidentally, but it was hard. It sucked.
And airplane mode, which you can't even text.
Yeah.
You literally are just
disappeared in the air for a while.
Gone.
Yeah. I don't ever want to do that again.
This is bad. This is supposed to be a fun podcast. Anyways, when will I see you again?
When will you see me again?
So 2 months goes by. No, I'm sorry. 1 month goes by. And like we gotta like now we're like fully engaged in a relationship here, and now
Mhm.
we've had and we can't. And so uh so we decided out of the blue to meet up in Cincinnati,
Mhm.
and Cincinnati is literally the middle point of here and there. Uh, there's Niagara Falls, and so we drove to Cincinnati. You brought mom
Yep.
for protection.
Yeah. Well, it was
How
kind
come
of.
you keep getting thumbs up and I don't?
I don't even know. I didn't even put my hands up, but now I did.
We're doing the emoji, the things that give
Nothing.
confetti. There it is.
Finally did it.
Party.
Yes. But I brought mom with me because it was a little bit of a long drive, but not that long of a drive. But also, my mom does not get out much. And by out much, I mean at all. So I was like, hey, mom can get a little vacation. And then I can have a road buddy on the way there. So mom came with.
And you wanted to race on the mowers earlier, and I decided I wanted to race to Cincinnati.
Yes.
Mainly because I left. What did I do? Did I leave work?
Yeah, you left work. I left way before you did. And you
Cons-
left work a little early. Like we took half a day of PTO and
I didn't get out on time.
you did not get out on time. I got out on time. And by on time, I mean a little early. So I left a couple hours ahead of you.
I was hell bent on getting there. My goal was to get there at the same time. I wasn't actually racing you until I realized I was catching up.
Yeah.
And then I started to go, oh, hell, let's just turn this into a competition. I'm not competitive.
Yeah, but we had a disadvantage because we had been like heavily drinking water and tea and coffee, and we kept having to stop to use the restroom like literally every hour. We had to stop.
You got stuck in a traffic jam. I got stuck in a
Yeah.
traffic jam in Pennsylvania, like dead stop. I was mad.
Yeah, you were.
I was not happy. But we literally got to Cincinnati like within
3 minutes.
of each other, right? Yeah, it was. I mean, it was. We
You got there 3 minutes before I did.
leaving 2 hours later.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
You didn't stop either.
I might have done a few too many speeding areas. I
Yeah,
might have
I think you,
exceeded 100 miles an hour at one point.
I think you did.
So don't do that.
Shame on you.
Shame on me.
Not safe.
So we get there, right? And now, and this is almost as meaningful, if not more in a way, as the first time we met, because now
you really know what you're missing.
right. Yeah. So we get there, we roll up to the parking lot at the Red Roof Inn where Mom was staying, and we were staying around a half mile away at the Marriott. I think.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Anyway, whatever. And we're like, hey, we got to get these tires out of my truck because they're going to get stolen.
Yeah.
We were more concerned with tires
Yeah.
than we were with seeing each other.
Yep. So Jason was working in the automotive industry, and I really needed new tires for my Pilot. And he could get them way cheaper than I could, so he went ahead and got the tires and then just brought them to Cincinnati. So that's why he had tires in the truck. They were for me. So yeah, we had to hi, okay, grab tires, put it in truck to the other truck because I drive a Pilot, so it's closed. And Mom's just standing there okay. We just went to business mode for the first 5 minutes.
Nothing we do is conventional. As I retell our story, we don't do anything normally, do we?
Yeah, but the fun thing is, I think other people were there doing drug deals.
Oh yeah,
but we were
shady.
doing tire deals, I guess.
It was a little sketch.
It was fun.
It was fun. So we get the tires out. We go check in at the hotel. We're hungry. And if anyone knows me well enough, and you know this now, and now you know that you probably have the same obsession I do, except you haven't had a chance to fulfill it yet.
Yeah.
It's all about Vietnamese pho. If you haven't tried it.
Delicious.
If you haven't tried it, please try it because I think you'll like it. I don't know. To me, it's delicious. But anyway,
it is.
It's a big bowl of soup with broth and
A giant bowl.
Yes. Eaten in a nice, giant
Hmm.
ceramic bowl, or in our case, because it was 7 p.m. or whatever time it was, and it was getting late, and we were hungry, and we didn't
Hmm.
want to sit in. I don't know why we didn't sit in a place. We just wanted to get
I
takeout
think we were
because we
just
haven't.
tired and we
Yeah,
wanted takeout and we
yeah,
needed to get in our hotel room and get
yep,
all of our stuff unpacked and
yep. And
all the
this was
stuff.
just a weekend, so this wasn't a full week. So
Yeah,
it was rush,
literally like
rush,
two
rush.
days.
So what place did we? I'm gonna. Where did we go?
We went to this cute little place called Pho Kimmy.
Say that faster.
Pho Kimmy.
One more time.
Pho Kimmy.
Okay. Speed
Don't
it up.
say it too quickly.
Speed it up.
Well,
in
then
your,
it
in your
sounds
play.
inappropriate. But I just also want to know, why did they name it that?
Because it's pho.
Got questions?
And
Is the
it's
owner
probably
named
owned by that
Kimmy?
Kimmy.
You know their name's not Kimmy.
Kimberly? Fuck Kimberly.
No.
Fuck Kimberly. Anyway. So we get our bowl of pho, and we go back to the hotel, and we're just thinking, hey, we'll just sit and eat this in the lobby because we needed to eat. But typically when I have it, I should have brought the bowl in here. I would have showed everybody the
Yeah.
beautiful large
nice
bowl.
bowl.
It is a great bowl. It's kind of like the ones you get at the restaurant, but we didn't have those.
Mm-mm.
So we went to Dollar General right next to Kimmy and bought plastic
Yeah.
Tupperware containers.
Those big plastic Tupperware. It's like the Rubbermaid containers.
So
The storage containers.
storage just about.
Yeah. And then we had to wash them. So we got some Dawn dish soap and some sponges. And we washed them in the bathroom sink because you got to do what you got to do.
Which, side note, now I'm remembering all the details. The
Yeah.
bathroom sink was clogged, so I.
Oh, that was gross. Ooh, that was so bad. So Jason like reached down there and pulled out the hair clog from who knows how long. Ugh.
Ugh, that's a little.
Gross.
That's a little gross. Is that as
It
gross
was
as
gross.
Twisted Tea?
You know what? I'm going to say that is more gross than Twisted Tea because
Mm.
Twisted Tea doesn't have stranger randoms people's hairs all
Are you sure?
spaghettied in it.
Have you checked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gross.
What's the sound you would make if somebody offered you a Twisted Tea or you had a hotel?
I'd politely say no, thank you.
Anyway. So we go back down to the hotel lobby and we decide that we're going to eat our pho. But now it's cold
Hmm.
and now it's dark. So we're wandering through the hotel lobby and there's this little side room, like a little breakfast room or something like that. And it's nobody's down there. They have a little cafe thing, but nobody's. And we're searching around for a light because it's dark. So
we were like two lost children carrying these big bowls of pho
yeah.
in Rubbermaid storage containers, just aimlessly wandering around lost.
So how do we solve that problem? And keep in mind, this is the 6th day, the 8th day that we've ever been physically in the same place at the same time, or 7 days, whatever the actual count was.
Yeah.
So how did we solve this problem?
Well, we found the microwave. We went into the little cafe thingy that appeared to be closed. And there was this room that was completely dark.
Dark.
Like dark. But there was a microwave in there, so we were using like our phone flashlights. And we're warming up the pho in the microwave. And then finally, I don't remember if it was a dude or a chick, they kind of like poked their head and were like, hey, is there a light? And they're like, maybe. So they start checking. It was actually the switch was in the kitchen area in the other room, so they had to turn it on. But we'd already been in there like 10 or 15 minutes in pitch black with no light on. Our soup was already warm, and we were sitting at the big long table in the dark, like creepers.
It took forever to warm that soup up too.
It did.
It took forever.
Because you have to go slow. You don't want to overcook the noodles.
Especially in a plastic bowl, in an unknown powered microwave.
Yeah.
Why is this so entertaining, this story?
But it was delicious.
It was delicious. And now you're hooked.
It was good.
So we spent that weekend, but the next day our dinner plans were a lot better. There was a brewery right next door. There was a brewery right next door to the hotel. We walked next door to the brewery.
Yes, that was a cool brewery.
Did I plan that? I may have. I don't know.
I think it just kind of
I
happened
think it did, but I'm going to
because
take credit.
we looked at the map and we kind of noticed it, but we didn't think much of it until we were at the hotel, like out in the lobby, and we're like, "There's a brewery right there. We can walk."
And this is the first week in August,
Hmm.
in dead of the summer in Cincinnati, so the weather is wonderful. It wasn't Alabama weather where it rains every time
Yeah.
we try to do something outside. It was wonderful. So we went to Third Eye Brewing Company. Shout out
Hmm.
to them. And we had a sour there that day.
We
And
did.
we had a shrimp boil on a plate,
Yeah.
which was
And it had
interesting.
cauliflower in it, which
But
is different, but
but
it
it was
was
great.
good. It was
And
really good.
and also that was the same because you were wearing your green and black dress,
Yes.
which means that earlier that day I forgot to write that down.
Yes.
We were walking well,
I was walking barefoot downtown Cincinnati because I sometimes I don't know what to wear. I'm not a very good woman. So anyway, I had like these cute little booties and I thought, well, this will match my dress. It'll be cute. I wasn't thinking about it was hot. I just thought, well, this will be cute. It was hot. It was very hot. And those things, they don't breathe at all. So I was like, screw this. I'm taking my shoes off because I'm dying because it is hot. So I literally tied my little booties on my purse and let them hang by my side. And I was walking around with no shoes on, but I had on socks. So I wasn't getting like super gross feet. But yeah, it was just too hot for those. So I wore them as an accessory on my purse rather than on my feet.
that was fun. I you know what, and this is see we're going kind of on a roller coaster ride right now of our lives here,
Yeah.
but all right, I promise I will post some of these photos. I mean,
Yeah.
we keep I mean we're slowly working on the YouTube channel. We keep telling you we have videos. I took 3 hours of video over the weekend and haven't posted anything yet because there really is 155 days left until we leave for Buffalo and our bus needs to be ready.
Yeah.
So it's turned into a really serious project, and we're not doing the best at speaking of the socials. We'll get to that later. But anyways, um, then we had to leave again.
Yeah.
So and this was a 2-day trip, and we had a great time, and it wasn't as awkward because we had, kind of known each other, and now
Mhm.
we're on like a different level, and um, so we went to the park,
Yeah. It was
and
still hard. The only
and
thing that I could say was, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I remember saying that over and over and over. Like, I don't care if I stay here or you go here or I go there, but I just don't want to do this.
meaning leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I remember like I also remember like we barely made checkout at the hotel.
Hmm.
You were
I was
dragging your
I was
feet.
dragging my feet and laying in bed because I didn't even want to get up. I was like, I don't want to do this. If I get up, that means we have to leave.
Reality happens.
Yeah. And I was trying to avoid reality, but the truth is, you cannot avoid reality.
But
It's coming.
at least I got to participate in the crying this time because
Yeah.
we were in public, but we were, we were in a safe public. We were in a place, we were in a park, I mean, standing next to the truck. Mom was on the inside and she's great. And
Hmm.
sidebar, let's just talk about next week's show for 1 second. We don't know what movie we're going to watch and review this week. We haven't decided that yet, but next week Mom's going to be back and she's going to
Yeah.
be back for the whole show. And if you were here for the after party from the episode 3 when Mom was on, Mom had another beer, so
Yeah,
stay
she
tuned
did.
next week. She's a lot of fun.
she,
Anyway,
she's, yeah.
I tried to lighten this up by bringing Mom into it because I don't want to relive yet another crying session, and I still get emotional about them.
Yeah.
Like I can put myself in that spot, and
No, I do too. It's
it
like
wasn't
still
great.
seated in there because the feeling, it's not fun
Yeah.
at all.
So I drove blind down the road at o'clock speed, and I don't know. It was bad. And then again, now we have another situation where now, okay, we spent money to fly and everything. We spent money to drive a hotel. It's 6 hours. It's a commitment. We have now what? You know what I mean? Like now it's like we kind of had that almost unspoken thing that we were just gonna wait until next year and
I just
deal with it.
try to figure it
Try to
out.
figure it out.
Because
So,
work
but then we
and
figured it
kids
out.
and
Well,
work.
then we had a drastic situation, but that's coming up in a minute. But Call of Duty came to the rescue.
Yeah.
Yes, you
Did
introduced
it
me.
though?
It did.
Yeah, but the first game we played after being back the next day,
Oh, I wasn't
um,
talking about that. Yeah, yeah.
we were crying playing Call of Duty. We're trying to run around. You're supposed to be winning a game, but we were just running around crying.
We really were.
But we did get it together eventually and
We did?
do mediocre in the game.
yeah.
I'm going to pretend that we did, even
Okay.
if we didn't. Because who cries when playing Call of Duty? We did.
Yeah. Well, at some point we had to go to bed that night, and that was the
Yeah.
first night we had to go to bed again separately with the unknown. When's the next time? And oh, that was that. I don't know which one's worse. I don't want to talk about this. um, so Call of Duty came to the rescue. We
Mhm.
did find kind of some solace in playing Call of Duty on the regular.
Yeah.
It became a Sunday night tradition. Now it's an every night tradition. Not really. It's just something we do to wind down from work because
Yep. Instead of
work.
TV, we play games.
Yeah. I remember one time we were playing Call of Duty and I was playing Call of Bourbon.
Yes, you were. And I don't know why you did that because we both
I
had to
didn't
get
mean
up
to.
and go to work. I guess you didn't mean to. You just were too busy playing Call of Duty. And
I think I made
I
a delicious drink.
I remember you were just kind of spinning in circles, and then I realized what was going on. I was like, okay, you need water and we need to get you to bed. Water and bed. You did not feel too well the next day either, did you?
Ugh. No. I felt kind of almost hungover. It was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the room was spinning when I went upstairs, and
Mhm.
that was not fun. So, yeah. Anyway,
Don't do that.
speaking of upstairs, so there was kind of like a phrase I would say, I'll see you upstairs, even
Yeah.
though we live on one floor ish. There's two steps, but it's basically one
Yeah.
floor. It's a ranch. It's a big long ranch.
Yeah.
And I had to go from the basement where the gaming stuff was all the way up to the upstairs floor in the house that was empty. I don't know why I just didn't live on one floor, but I didn't.
You did the last few weeks.
I definitely did. I lived in one room the last few days. But yeah. So then I'd go upstairs and basically fall asleep on you every night.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
You sure you're not mad?
I'm not mad. I never was. I was actually glad that you were actually sleeping because you don't sleep very well sometimes.
No. What would happen? You'd be like, are you
Oh, I would just start, hey, Jason, are you asleep? Okay, I think you're asleep. And then I would say goodnight even though you were asleep because eventually you're going to wake up and hear it.
Oh, that's right. Because wait, were we Snapchatting?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't until later that we started using actual video chat, right?
Maybe? No, we used video chat after that. So I'm thinking of Snapchat before because you would fall asleep before we met.
Oh,
then,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
It all kind of runs together.
It does kind of all run together. Some of this is weird to listen talking about it.
It is weird.
Isn't it? Right?
Hey, do you want to FaceTime?
No, I don't.
No.
I'll talk to everybody here, through Zoom and FaceTime. But yeah, she's trying to do the thumbs down thing, but it's not working.
It's broken.
So for video watchers, at least you see what's going on, and for audio listeners, there it is. The thumbs down wasn't working, but it's all good now because I just got a thumbs down on my face. I think you're trying to do rainstorm.
Yes.
Nice. And fast forward to a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It couldn't go on. I couldn't be there without you. And tough decision for one reason and one reason only, and that's because of my beautiful, wonderful daughters. You hear her every week. You'll hear her in a minute too, which I'm excited about. I just couldn't. I couldn't be without you. I wasn't going to make it an entire year without running to Alabama just to see you, like physically on foot. I would have done it, but so hey, I don't even. Did I literally just say, "Hey, can I move in?" I don't know.
Pretty much. You're like, instead of
I have a
wasting
plan.
money on
Oh yeah,
rent,
yeah. We had a plan. That's what it was.
instead of wasting money on a rent, how about I just move in? How about I come to Alabama? And I was like, yes. I didn't have to think very hard about that one.
Is it working out?
Come on down.
Is it working out?
It is working out. It's perfect.
No. So yeah, and I mean, not gonna get into the big long story, but I had to sell the house. I had to finish some legal stuff. Had to find a new job.
Mhm.
And literally like figure out how to do, and because part of our I guess to the backstory is the is the bus and the life that we're creating here in the let's live life on the road kind of thing. And in order to do that, you have to work. Well, you don't have to, but kind of you have to work
Yeah, you pretty much need to work remotely.
remotely. Yeah.
Hmm.
So like literally, I don't know. It was August and it was October, and then I was here. So in two
Yeah.
months, sell a house, finish some legal stuff, find a new job, and physically move.
Yeah.
Here's the moral of the story: always get the bigger U-Haul.
Yeah. What happens if you don't?
Fucking mattress. That was graphic.
Yes.
I spit on my microphone.
You
for those
left a
you
lot of
watching.
stuff, and your neighbors got a lot of free stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I did. I just, sometimes you get to that moment where you're thinking, I'm always a big picture thinker, and I lost sight of the big picture. So I thought,
think
I'll save $1 on a smaller U-Haul.
I think you were just tired and delusional.
I fought that mattress at a king size mattress that I was going to bring. I don't know what we would have done with that mattress.
I don't know either, but you wanted to bring it, so I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I don't, what was the purpose?
I don't know. Maybe you thought it would go on a bus eventually.
I wasted 2 days fighting a mattress that had no purpose being here. I just realized that.
That's what you did.
I also towed a car that we sold and I put on like 10 miles when it was here.
It's
And
fine.
I could have put in a 55-inch TV that I left out in the rain. I'm an idiot. All right, let's move on.
It's fine.
Yeah.
The important thing is you're here and always get a bigger U-Haul.
Always get a bigger U-Haul. But the journey was fun. It was a fun little drive. I don't want to get too much into that. There's not much to tell there. Got almost in a car crash in Cincinnati with the U-Haul. I mean, literally had to slam on the brakes with this car being towed behind me and no mattress to protect me. And stopped in Louisville and had a burger and a beer at Dave and Buster's that night.
Yep.
Yep.
Dave and Buster's.
And then got to see our good friend Tabby the next morning because she was nice enough to help me find a hotel there in Louisville. And now I'm here.
Yep.
And
now you've been here.
And it's great.
And the only things that you've gone away for are bus hunting with me.
Yes. Oh, we could tell that story too, but not right now. We'll have to tell the story of
That's for a whole nother
a
day.
different episode. But yes, so now we're here, and the search for the bus and PFM Adventures is born. And thanks for coming along on the journey. So
Absolutely.
Do you have a delicious beverage?
And there she is.
Hey, Megan, what up, girlfriend? It's beverage time. And we're back to some good old beer.
Hell yes. Would you like to jump into the fridge and I will tell the rest of the story? And as you know, we aim to try something new each episode. So this week, we're stepping into the world of, how do you pronounce this?
Saison.
Saison. And we literally did the pronunciation thing on Google.
Or we can pretend like we're from Alabama
Saison.
and maybe just be like, Saison.
Saison. This is a Belgian style. For those of you watching, for those of you not, we will do our best. This is a Belgian style farmhouse ale. Farmhouse? Farmhouse ale. A farmhouse ale. There's an H in house called Street Saison. Saison. Made by Avondale Brewing Company in Birmingham, Alabama. This beer is 7.2% ABV, and it is described on their website as, quote, a classic farmhouse ale prominent with citrus and dried spices. A beautiful beer to drink from first to last sip.
Oh,
Yeah,
I splashed you.
That's all right.
Do you want me to pour yours?
I will handle that. Let's talk real quick about the can. It's green.
It's green, and
It's actually bus green.
I didn't even think about that.
I
but it
just
is.
thought about that now.
And Spring Street is like in white, and would you consider that gold or yellow?
I'm going to say this is literally the color of our school bus.
It is the color of our school
It
bus.
literally is.
And it has the Alabama elephant on there, Roll Tide. And the elephant says, "Stay fancy."
Help me. What's the significance of this elephant?
It's the college football team. Alabama, it's their mascot.
Oh, it is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't.
Now, I don't know if this elephant is meant to be their mascot, but I'm just going to say that he is. And look, he has a beer holding it with his trunk, which
That's
is pretty
pretty cool.
fun.
That's pretty cool.
So, nothing too fancy with the can here, but it's still cool.
It's a can.
It is
It
a
really
can.
is just a can. But it's not a, you know what? You could have the fanciest can in the world. It's not about always the can. It's about the contents inside.
And it's also about, does the can open?
Yes, yes. And I'm sorry for that episode. And I don't remember which brewery it was, but very disappointing in their cans.
Yeah.
Anyways, so this is a very nice, beautiful golden color.
it
And
is.
I really miss the tulip glass. I really would like to get some tulip glasses. I mean, this is a nice traditional beer glass, but you got the glass.
I got my little gnomes.
You do, but I miss that glass. Anyway.
I'm sorry. I broke all of your glasses.
No,
Literally.
There were not. No, because there were 4 of those to begin with, and one of them made it here, I think. So, what are you smelling?
I can't decide what I smell.
Oh, I smell traditional beer.
I mean, yeah, it smells like traditional beer. There's a hint of something,
That was the first thing I got. Was like,
but I don't know what the hint of something is that I'm smelling. Sometimes I can't smell very well.
yeah, sing amongst yourselves when we're quiet.
We're sniffing beer. What is it that I'm smelling?
To me, I really just get.
I think it's just the spices, whatever the
Yeah.
spices are, but I can't tell what they
I'm not
are.
getting much different on the nose other than just
Beer.
beer. I mean, really, it just. I mean, kind of smells like it almost. I'd hate to say this, and I know it's not because we just opened the can and it's still bubbling crazy, but it almost smells like stale beer. Like the kind you get
Yeah,
in the
maybe
dive bar
so.
after the
Oh, I call that the skunk beer.
right?
Or like it's gotten hot and then
Oh.
cold.
Yeah, no, that would be Heineken. Yeah, but
Let's taste this, shall we?
we shall. Yeah, we're gonna stop babbling. Cheers to us 1 year later.
Cheers. It tastes like beer. It kind of does have that musky flavor. I don't know.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I'm talking about?
It does. Right now,
Is musky the right word? Probably not.
the first sip for me was fantastic because I was thirsty. Oh, okay. About a minute later,
It tastes the citrus.
yeah, yep. I want to say
It
it's like
leaves-
almost orangey a little.
It leaves a not so good aftertaste to me
Yeah,
because the aftertaste is the still beer taste for me. And the after, but when you're drinking it, it tastes good. So if you just keep drinking it and don't have the aftertaste, you don't got to worry about that part.
yep. I don't get 7.2 out of this. I would have thought this was a 5% beer or something like that because it's very
Yeah, it doesn't taste like really alcohol-y.
It's pretty commercial beer tasting almost.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I'm okay. We're not exactly loving this one,
I don't think it's our favorite.
but would you drink it with something? A mower. A trip on the mower.
You know
Is
what?
this a good mower beer?
This would be an okay mower beer
Yeah.
because it kind of has grassy taste anyway, and you're getting grass in your mouth while you're mowing in the dirt.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut when I'm mowing. Then why are you getting grass and dirt in your mouth?
Probably because I'm singing. I have my AirPods in,
that
and
makes sense.
then I'll be air drumming and
That's
air
fair.
guitaring and whacking on the steering wheel and yelling, "Bah!" singing. And then here comes the grass and the dirt. And then just gotta kind of spit it out a little bit. It's fine.
That's great.
As
Anyway,
Joe Dirt would say, God made dirt and dirt don't hurt.
that's fair. I got a little citrus in that drink. All right. Anyways, enough about that. So, would you put it in with any food, and would you buy it again?
I would not buy it again unless there wasn't anything else to buy other than like commercial beer. I would buy this over commercial beer. Pairing it with something. I'm gonna say grilled hot dogs. Don't ask why, but grilled hot dogs.
Makes sense.
Why not?
Makes sense. It'd be no different than grabbing a Miller or a Bud
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Miller's a good beer though. For,
The Miller
for
High
what it
Life.
is. Yeah.
Miller High Life. I don't like
The
Miller Light.
The OG Miller. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like Miller Light, but the High Life, I can. That's good. Mowing the lawn beer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, that was a little anticlimactic as far as the beer review. because
We got
didn't get any-
excited.
We did get excited and we got let down. And this is not a shot on the brewery because I'm sure
No.
there's some other stuff. And I think we had another one of theirs that was actually really good. But
Mhm.
and this may be a good beer, it's just maybe not the good beer for us.
Yeah, it just maybe something that if that's your flavor profile, then great. But I can't really say that I've had like many. I've never even had a saison beer or a farmhouse ale because I remember asking like, "What is a farmhouse ale?"
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It's a Belgian style.
I think it's because they put the grass in it from the mower, from the farm, and mix it in.
there is
Isn't that how we know?
There's one up, and now I'm curious because now I'm more into beer than I was before. But when we go to New York, we got to go to Canandaigua, and there's a brewery, rail. I forget, but it's got a railroad as a symbol, and it's at the north end of the
Mhm.
Lake Canandaigua, and they have a farmhouse ale, which is the only other one that I've had. But I liked that one. That one was good.
So is the
So-
flavor profile like at all similar to this?
I don't remember it being similar to that. I think it was, but
Wouldn't that be cool to do a side by side comparison?
yeah, it would.
Because I've never had this kind before in general. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know what to expect, to be honest.
So we'll have to keep this in mind when we go. But anyways, so last week we reviewed the 2018 crime mystery movie Bad Times at the El Royale
Yes.
with Mike and Tabby from the Gray's Tap Room podcast. We wanted to know what you thought about the movie, and here's what we learned. The 16.7% of you loved it. 50% of you liked it, and 16.7 and 16.7 of you said not for me or you haven't seen it. So I'm a little surprised by that because I thought the movie was great, and we're going to
Yeah.
rewatch it again at some point and maybe even do a re-review or a recast or something, probably with Mike and Tabby at that point and see if we all whatever. But I don't know. If you haven't seen it, go watch it and let us know what you think.
Yeah. Thank you for you guys' feedback on our X poll, by the way. But this week's X poll, it's fun. So this past Saturday, Jason posted a video on our TikTok feed of him jumping over the fire pit, and he captured it with, "My daughter says I'm allowed to do this until I'm 60." But our question is, how long should Jason keep jumping over fire pits? Let us know what you think and check out next week's episode to find out the results.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Lip syncing.
Speaking of the socials, we are present on all of the major socials. The best way to find us is at PFM After Dark. You can also visit our website, merch store, support links, and send us an email. Remember, sharing is caring. We hope you'll encourage others to listen too. If you have an extra minute, please give us a 5-star review on your favorite platform. And if you want to find out more about our journey into schoolie life, check out our PFM Adventures YouTube channel. All of the links are in our show notes.
Thanks for joining us. More adventures to come during the day and after dark.
Lights out.